Welcome to the Retro Blood.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Retro Blood. As we finish up this November 2025, talking some family-loving activities, getting together with their family, having a good old time, trying to have sex, trying to take a bunch of Valium for the holiday season of Thanksgiving, because we are finishing up the first ever Killer Families Month here on the Retro Blood. With, if y'all like families and couples who get together on a small little cabbage, who just want to cook a nice little turkey and have some good old sex and complain about not taking Valiums all the time. If y'all want a nerdy guy who can't find his way in life, who has to dress up like a meme, I guess, Joker type of guy, who supposedly loves Kiss, and who will cock block you and play your guitar and try to hit up the one Spanish girl that he doesn't know what she's saying, but you get killed very easy. And if y'all like the most jacked killer Alison's eyes has ever seen in his life.
Hell yeah.
If you like him throwing his body onto the husband and killing him by car hood. And
that was great.
If y'all love PCP killers, then this is the new holiday tradition movie for you, brother. Because the Retro Blood is talking all about Home Sweet Home. J.H. Alison, James Kline. What's happening, Alison? How is your PCP going this week? Is it going pretty good?
It's going great, man. This movie made my week, man. I'm so glad you found this thing.
Really?
I loved this. I loved it.
I thought this movie was boring.
Fantastic.
Okay, so there was a couple things I loved about this movie. There's a couple things I hated. All right.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
First of all, I could not believe you would like this shit. I thought half of this was dumb as hell. Most of it actually was. Okay, so let me give you a little backstory, everybody, of how I found this gem out there in the wild.
Yeah.
This was no like us Googling shit and figuring out what we can put into a month. I've had this one planned out for a while because I went to this horror movie convention here in the North Carolinas. It's called Mad Monster. All right. They usually do one in Charlotte, and then they do one in Atlanta, and then they do they do one in Arizona, somewhere like that too. So I'm here, I'm at the booth. I forgot what the guy's name was, sorry. But he was selling a bunch of rare, like random fucking horror movies that I've never seen in my life. And I was like, I got to get something from this guy to do on the show. So I'm searching. And I come across this one called Home Sweet Home. All right. And I read on the back of it. And the thing that caught my eye was this was a supposedly horror movie that took place on Thanksgiving. All right. Now, the significance of that was I only knew about one horror movie in the 1980s that took place on Thanksgiving. Of course, that is The Great Blood Rage.
Yes.
Okay.
Classic.
Now, obviously, nowadays in the 2025, we have a new classic, which we actually did here last year on the Lights Out, was Eli Roth's Thanksgiving, which is far superior of Thanksgiving tradition movies than, of course, this was. But I was like, oh shit, there's another Thanksgiving theme horror movie. I had to take this. I gotta buy it and we gotta watch it. And I saw on there where there was like some jack dude on there. And at first I thought it was the Hulk, the guy who played the Hulk.
Yeah, Lou
Ferrigno, but it was some other bodybuilder, which we'll talk about here soon.
Yeah.
So I finally popped this thing in after having it for months and months and months. And so anybody who actually owns this DVD, like the first thing you don't get any menu. All right, you don't get like a nice little menu. You don't get a nice previews for the upcoming release DVDs at the time. No, you just go straight into the trailer, which is the most wackiest trailer Bro, I thought there was the movie at first because I didn't know. Did that happen to you, Alison, when you popped it in? Like it automatically went to the trailer?
Yeah, it automatically goes to the trailer because this is just like straight like bootleg quality. Like this is just like burned onto a disc by a computer. But yeah, it goes straight to the trailer and then it just plays the movie right after that. Yeah, there's no menu and no nothing. Like it's this thing has got to be like a rare gem though. Like we there can't be too many other shows that have ever done this movie. So I'm pretty proud that we found this.
I mean, there might be some that talked about it, but we're gonna do it in long form, which is fun. All right, but like, first of all, I'm gonna get into this thing quick. The fucking trailer to this movie was fucking awesome because it only showed the wild, wacky parts. That's all it was. It showed the PCP dude, Jay. I think his name is Jay. PCP guy, Jake. Taking the PCP in his mouth, like screaming, jumping on things. He would jump on the hood. He would jump here. I was like, what is this massive bodybuilder looking dude jumping around for? All right. He had Home Sweet Home tattooed on his hand. All right.
Yeah.
We had this fucking meme guy getting fucking electrocuted, which is a cool ass scene. All right. We had the fucking Latino girl showing off her bra. All right. I was like, damn, this movie's about to get wild. All right. And then they go into the movie, which is crazy.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The I think his character was named Jay, but the guy is Jake.
Yes.
Jake. He's the Body by Jake guy. We'll talk about that.
Yeah. We'll talk. Yeah. He has his own workout show apparently that we'll talk about here. And this is also a first time appearance from a pretty decent actress. Who was in Hocus Pocus, which we'll talk about too, which is an interesting story. So a couple things, this came out in 1981. There's no release date, so me and Alison are probably going to be skipping the good old history segment, even though we might pick out a song later. We'll pick out a cool song from 1981 that you all want to hear that we like. Okay. So let's just get right into it. Let's get behind the scenes of why this Home Sweet Home movie was made. Who booked this shit, brother? Okay.
Yeah, who booked this shit?
Now, okay, so the movie supposedly takes place on Thanksgiving. Okay. Now, is there Thanksgiving tropes that you would see or something, or like, like you could tell, like, did they have some pilgrim outfits? No. Okay, it was just a family at a house, supposedly cooking up some food. But yet you did have...
they're cooking a bunch of food.
I did like where you had the one uncle, though, complaining about the sports games where he couldn't watch it. I was like, okay, that's pretty Thanksgiving. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, they're cooking a lot of food, and then, like, that whole one story path gets started because the guy went to look for the canned peas.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing happened because they're looking for canned peas. But yeah, it's basically
need the peas, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Really the only reason that it takes place on Thanksgiving, or that we think it could take place on Thanksgiving, is because of the food.
Yeah.
They're cooking food.
Pretty much. Yeah. So Home Sweet Home was also known in these streets, there, Alison and everybody, has a slasher in the house.
Nah, that's not as good a name. I like Home Sweet Home better.
Home Sweet Home? Yeah, it's a little good. So obviously, I told you it was made in 1981. And it was directed by Nettie Peña. All right? And what is pretty significant about her is it was one of the first female horror directors to come out at this era. Yes. All right. Now, I couldn't really find anything else she did. Did you find anything else that she actually done before?
No, I tried to look her up. She worked like sound editing on the English version of an anime movie called Whispers of the Heart.
That's cool.
But she didn't really like work on. I don't really see that she like directed or wrote another movie.
Yeah.
She did work in Hollywood some, but it was like in the background mostly. It looks like.
Well, there was one.
But
that
it's really.
Sorry, there was one that she said she did direct. They're Not Green.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not really familiar with that, but she. But yeah, basically what I was saying is that she and like you were saying, she is one of the few female horror directors, at least from this time.
Yeah. which is
You know, there would be some
significant.
later on,
Yeah.
but this is unusual. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about God, I can't. My retro brain is foggy right now, but we have talked about female
Yeah.
horror movie directors before on here. There's very few and far
Yeah.
between, but there has been a couple in the 1980s.
Yeah.
All right, so a couple things. Some production notes about this movie. Let's see what we got here. So basically, I couldn't find like too much stuff about this movie at all, like why it was made at all. But I think the most interesting part was the Vinessa Shaw. Okay, was in this movie. So Vinessa Shaw played Angelo Bradley, which was the mom character. You know, the one, and I wasn't she the one shacking up with the dad dude? You know what I mean, Harold. Yeah. You know what I mean? She showed some titty.
No, she played the little girl. She played Angel.
Okay, yeah, she played the angel. She played the little girl, my bad. Okay. Yeah. Which was, you know, pretty interesting. Like, you know, she didn't really have too many roles in this movie. You know, she was there and she hid under the table and stuff, and they were trying to protect her the whole time. But she is actually known to be kind of a Disney type of actress. She was in the fantasy film Hocus Pocus. All right.
Well, yes.
Yeah, kind of.
That's true. I know her from. She was also in the remake of Hills Have Eyes.
Yes, she was in that one too. Let's see.
Yeah.
She's done a couple. Like out of the whole cast of this whole movie, she's actually the one who's done the most. Let's see. So she's actually done the most like acting, basically.
Yeah, she plays she's in Eyes Wide Shut. She plays the friend of the prostitute that Tom Cruise is hanging out with.
Yeah. So
the one that tells him that she went to get the STD test or whatever.
Yeah. That's a crazy movie, bro. I love that movie. Eyes Wide Shut.
That's a great film. I love Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah. She was also in Side Effects 2013, so she's done some stuff out there.
Yeah, so she's like she made a living as an actress for sure.
Yeah. So this is actually her first role, which is pretty cool to see. You know what I mean? Like, but it's not too surprising. You know, a lot of times we talk about here on the show where a lot of these actors and stuff will have their beginning roles in horror movies. Okay, and even that even goes for kids too. I mean, look at Corey Feldman. That's his first couple roles. We're in some horror movies too. So, next one we got over here is the guy who played Wayne, Charles Hoyes. All right, and you might know him as a TV actor. Okay, so it says that he's done appearances in Matlock, one of Alison's favorite shows, Matlock. All right.
Yeah, Matlock. Great show.
He was in the Dukes of Hazzard.
It's the old person's show. Yeah. Love the Dukes of Hazzard. That is a good show.
And he was also in the X-Files too. Okay. And it looks like he was just basically in a bunch of like, he didn't really like star in any of these films, but he was kind of like just kind of appeared. Like they also said that he was in Field of Dreams and Space Jam. I was like, okay, shit, there you go. So it looks like he was a kind of one of those character actors that you would pop up in movies.
Right, I was about to say he's like a character actor. He would, he's like one of those people that made a living, like, being a supporting actor in a bunch of movies. Which there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. I would definitely take that as a job for sure.
So a couple other things too is our main killer, Jay Jones, the PCP man who took PCP and slaughtered his family and now is on the run. He was played by none other than Jake Steinfeld. All right.
Yes.
Of course, he's a bodybuilder, if you couldn't tell by watching this movie. He was pretty jacked. All right. And this is actually not his first movie for Jake to be in. He was in Cheech and Chong's next movie, right before this, 1980. And then he would do Home Sweet Home. He was also in a movie called A Marathon, but I never heard of that movie before. But I do like it how he's in Cheech and Chong though. That's pretty cool. So, but his big thing is he is known for having like this like bodybuilding TV show. All right?
Yes.
It was he created Fit TV, a 24-hour fitness lifetime network, which he later sold to News Corp. So there you go. Obviously he became a pretty big. He's basically really big into the bodybuilding world, and he was kind of like he was like a chairman basically of the physical fitness and sports under Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. So he was like the chairman of California. Mm-hmm. It says on here, Steinfeld became chairman of the California Governor's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports under Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger at the time in 2006. And he served until 2011 under Governor Jerry Brown. So it looks like he also did some work in the politics too, under the sports stuff. So, but yeah, he was in a lot of stuff. He apparently was in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. He was in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. All right. He starred in a sitcom on Family Channel called Big Brother Jake. So it looks like he's done some shit there too, brother. Not sure who he was in Indiana Jones. And he's probably still one of the big henchmen. Probably hanging around there at the time.
He, I think that he, worked in stunts on Indiana Jones.
Yeah, some stunt.
I might be wrong about that.
Yeah, it looks like he did some stunt works on there. All right, let's see what it says over here.
Yeah, and then he was the personal trainer for Harrison Ford.
Yes. All right. Okay, so we talked about this before in some other movies, and I don't know why this one got. It was the rating systems in the UK are so weird around this time. I mean, it sounds like they would just ban everything because
they didn't ban this though.
Yeah,
but they complained about it. I don't think it got banned, but they complained about it. Is what I was reading.
Yeah, it says because it's best while not prosecuted for obscurity. The film was seized and confiscated in the UK under Section 3 of the Obscure Publications Act of 1959 during the video nasty pandemic.
Oh, so it was confiscated.
Yeah, but it wasn't
okay.
Yeah, it was confiscated, but it's not like they like I think if you owned it or whatever, you wouldn't get prosecuted or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
So we talked about this one being one of the only few Thanksgiving movies and directed by a woman too. It says at least one scene in the film, the hit and run at the beginning, was filmed in Porter Ranch, California, approximately 30 miles from Los Angeles. All right. So I guess we were just saying that Los Angeles was the filming location.
Right. Yeah. That's Los Angeles. I was going to say that this movie is like one location, basically.
Yeah.
They're like, we have a house. Let's just film a movie there. What can we do in this house? Pretty much. One location.
Pretty much. That's how pretty much it was. It's basic. This movie would definitely fall under the slashers are very hot right now. So we're just going to come up with the idea of a slasher and we're going to present it to everybody. That's pretty much what this time period was.
Yeah, this was Halloween did well. Friday the 13th did well. Let's make one of those.
Yeah, pretty much.
I really liked the way it looked, though. I guess we'll talk about this a little later. But remember, like we were talking about how, like in the late 70s, very early 80s, there was a lot of crossover, but very little difference between porn films and horror films.
Yeah.
And this movie looked like it could have been a porn film. Like it looked, had the same aesthetic. It just looked exactly like porn films for the time looked.
Yeah.
So this is like an example of that where like there's not a lot of difference.
When Harold, we'll talk about here in a second, but like fucking when Harold and that blonde dude were about to bang their women. I mean, they look that's looked straight from a 70s porn film. I was waiting to see some hairy bish. Huh?
Yep.
So a couple things before we get into the movie over here. Might be a little quick one for everybody out there. So we have the writer. And I thought this was pretty interesting. The writer of this film, Thomas Bush. All right.
Yeah.
All right. What a name. Thomas Bush.
What a name.
All right. No Bush in this film, by the way. This ain't the Howling series. All right. We got Bush everywhere. All right. All right. So this guy right here, this Thomas guy, guess what movie he did sound on? All right. So he wrote the movie, basically. Thomas Bush is the guy who wrote Home Sweet Home. Okay.
Right.
And I was doing some of my research on him, and apparently he did the sound. All right. He worked in the sound department on Evil Dead 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Which was a way higher budget movie than this.
Yes. So he went from writing this movie to doing some sound on Evil Dead 2. Not too bad.
Right.
He also did this movie called Hit the Road Running. Okay. And he did the sound department on that one too. So I'm guessing after Home Sweet Home, he's like, I ain't writing this shit again. I mean, what the fuck did he write that was so important anyway? Right?
Nothing, apparently.
I mean, this one is a pretty basic storyline when it comes to this shit. Which we don't hate on that here on the Retro.
No, I appreciate it actually. Yeah. I appreciate the basic storyline quite a bit.
Yeah. So there's some. Let me see what else we got on here. Anything fun? Okay. We'll get into it here in a second, but let's talk about the tagline.
Yes.
And I didn't find this anywhere. Maybe it was on the DVD or something. But it says, this year, it's not the turkey being carved for Thanksgiving.
I think that's a great tagline.
Yeah.
I like that. I would definitely go see this movie if it had the poster that was on the front of that DVD you gave me.
Yeah.
And it had that tagline. I would definitely go see that in 1981 for sure.
Exactly.
For sure.
So I'm not sure of this, but this is another thing I found off IBMD, which, who knows if they're telling the truth or not.
Exactly.
The movie was also known as Blood Party.
Yeah, I don't like that either. Home Sweet Home is perfectly. Yeah.
All right, here it is. So the original title, Home Sweet Home, is the one we're going to be using. Of course, Slasher in the House was the working title. In Canada, it was called Slasher in the House. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And in, I guess, most of the territories, it was called Home Sweet Home or Slasher in the House. But West Germany, that's the one that gave it the old Blood Party.
Blood Party. That's terrible.
Yeah. So, there you go. Changing up a bunch of shit. So, but everybody, I say let's get into it. Let's get into our new Thanksgiving tradition. Talking about some Home Sweet Home.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
It's 7 a.m. in Los Angeles, and our top story continues to be the intensive police dragnet for an armed and dangerous escaped mental patient. 26-year-old Jay Jones escaped from the Hobart State Hospital for the criminally insane last night after killing an attendant and leaving a guard in critical condition. Jones was committed to Hobart 8 years ago after a lengthy and well-publicized trial following the bludgeoning death of both of his parents. We talked with a state police department spokesman shortly after Jones's escape last night.
He's extremely dangerous, probably armed. He could be on PCP. Jones is Caucasian, 6'3", 220 pounds with curly brown hair. If you see anyone answering this description, stay clear of him and notify your local law enforcement agency.
So we start off the DVD because it's the only way you can find this shit. You think it had it probably had a VHS out there.
I bet it had a VHS release, and it might have been released in theaters, like some of those like smaller theaters. I don't know if this has ever had an official Blu-ray or DVD release though. But yeah, your version was definitely just like a burned DVD, which is fantastic. I love that,
brother. Okay, first of all, I said this at the beginning, but I'm gonna say it again. My favorite part of this movie was the trailer. I mean,
the trailer was
great. This
great.
trailer was fucking fantastic, man. Okay, Like, it just shows this guy freaking out, jumping around, and wildness happening. And, like, it was only, like, maybe, like, 10 minutes of the movie was wild, and everything else was just plot. Okay? But it was great. It was great. So we start off, you know, the cool thing about watching this kind of stuff is we get to see it in, like, grunginess, how it was filmed. You know, a lot of these horror movies that we talk about now a lot of them have been converted to Blu-ray, all right, or 4K.
Yeah.
So obviously the quality on them is a lot higher. You know what I mean? But it's cool to see. It's cool to watch sometimes a horror movie in its original form, which is cool and nice to watch.
So, yeah, I won't talk a long time about this, but now that you bring it up, I did want to mention that because it's kind of interesting because, like, now we can see these movies better than we've ever been able to see them before.
Yeah.
And probably better than anyone has ever seen them, like, even when they were originally shown. Because projectors typically did not have the quality to they didn't have the quality to project the full resolution. Like, you know, a 35 millimeter film print is basically 4K. It's like 3800K.
Yeah.
So so when we're watching a 35 millimeter film on 4K, that's how it was made. That's how it was shot. And we're getting, you know, more of it than we've ever seen before. So this movie, if you remastered it from the negative, would look a lot better than it does, but it wouldn't look the way it looked when people first saw it, which is kind of how we're seeing it now.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised that it was in widescreen.
Yeah, no, me
because
too.
I thought this was a VHS release, but yeah, I'm surprised it was in widescreen at all. But yeah, so it is. You're right. It is kind of cool to see it dark and grimy looking, like it would have looked if you were watching it in 1981.
Exactly. But so we start off after we get the grindiness and it's in widescreen and everything. Then we get this guy just sitting in his car, and then out of nowhere. Yes, listen. Well, there was a radio broadcast going on saying this killer escaped and stuff. You know, must be watch out. And then out of nowhere, like, I wonder if I can act it for our video people. All right.
This would be great.
So the killer is walking up to the car and he's like this. And then the guy's like, and then he takes him, he throws his ass.
That was too good. That was way better than that line was delivered. That part was delivered in the movie. That was great. When he's just like, that is because that's literally what happened. That's literally what happened.
Bro, the scariest fucking killer from the 1980s, brother, Jay.
Jay Jones.
I'm gonna call him PCP Jay the whole time. All right, Jay Jones. So he strangled his ass. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is when we see that Jay is addicted to PCP. Okay. Which I forgot like how old school some of these drugs are. Because the last time I heard about PCP was people in Florida biting people's faces off and shit. All right.
Right.
So I was like, oh shit, this is like 1981 and shit. And people were like going crazy on PCP.
Still doing PCP. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically they go over, Jay was locked up in prison. He was incarcerated for bludgeoning his family. Okay.
Oh. Who would have thought that?
Yes. So, you know, obviously, you know, hey, this is Killer Family Month. So we got it. There's your tie-in. All right, everybody.
There's your tie-in. Exactly.
All right. So now he takes the, this Jay guy, bro, like I don't think he said any lines in this movie.
I don't think he had one single word.
Most of his stuff was right the whole time. So Jay carjacks. He takes the car, all right, and and then he runs down an old lady in the middle of Los Angeles.
And that was great. He just ran her over. She's just like, Did you get runned over? Yeah, that was great.
Like, there's there's barely like any scenes of like anything. Like, it's just random shots. Okay. So now we're at the outskirts of the city. Okay. And we have a whole family gathering for Thanksgiving. All right. At a ranch. All right. And this ranch is owned by Harold Bradley. Okay. He's the good old dad. All right. So we have all of our cast here. We have Harold's girlfriend, Linda. who showed some titty, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
His tenant, Scott, and his girlfriend, Jennifer. All right. I believe Scott was the one who, let's see. Okay, no. So Scott and Jennifer. We have Linda's friend, Gail. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which wait till we get to their scenes. All right.
Yeah. They're the ones who go to leave and go look for the wine.
Yeah, exactly. Then we have Harold's business associate, Wayne, and his girlfriend, Maria. Now, Wayne is the guy who was betting on sports the whole time. So between the getting canned food and getting a turkey made, and then Wayne betting on sports and want to watch sports, I was like, you know what? I could believe the Thanksgiving tie-in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, what is more Thanksgiving than that, really?
True. And then Maria speaks Spanish through the entire movie.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think she even knew English. That was great. I didn't like that part. All right. And then, of course, we cannot forget Harold's son. Apparently, he was just called Mistake.
So I have a bone to pick with this, and I understand why you said that.
Yeah.
Because it does say in the notes that he's apparently a Kiss fan.
But it doesn't bring it up.
And I don't think that's the case. I think he's just supposed to look like a mime.
Yeah, mime.
Because remember, he does the kind of the magic tricks in the movie part of the way. I think he's just supposed to be a mime.
But he has a guitar there, Alison.
He does
explain that.
He does have a guitar, but I mean, like, his face paint doesn't look anything like any Kiss member, and also Kiss was dead in 1980 and 1981. They were like at their most unpopular.
Was this without the makeup?
No, they hadn't taken the makeup off yet, but they were. So in 80 and 81, so since we didn't get a history segment, we'll talk about this for history right now. So in 1980 was when Peter Criss left the band, and they replaced him with Eric Carr, and they still had makeup. Yeah. And they released an album called Unmasked, which they still had the face paint, but Peter Criss didn't play on it at all. And they didn't even tour America for that. They were so unpopular. They did a tour of Australia, and that was it. And then they released 81. What did they do in 81? I think so after that, Ace left, and then they just did they did Music from the Elder. Oh, okay. So they did a concept album called Music from the Elder that was like, I actually like it, but it's considered like the worst Kiss album by most people. And it's a concept album about
they might like it
some
now.
Science fiction story. But yeah, I mean, I think it was way ahead of his time. But anyway, I don't really think that he was supposed to be a Kiss fan because Kiss was dead at this point.
Yeah, it says it in the notes here too, but I don't believe it. I don't believe that either. I
don't think that's what they. Yeah,
I think he was just supposed to be a like you said. I mean, and then he was also supposed to be a generic guy who liked rock music. Because remember, at this particular point of the 80s, people who like metal and rock and roll were like Outkast, which we talked about before.
Yes.
Check out our Trick or Treat episode if y'all want to hear about the Outkast of rock and roll. One of my favorite episodes we've ever done on the Retro Blood Trick or Treat.
Yes, that was a good movie and a good episode.
Yes. Check it out in the archives, everybody. That was before we did video, but it's still a really good episode. All right. Yes. So, and then of course we could not forget the Eyes Wide Shut girl herself, Angel, was in here too. So a couple of things are going on. This is when we show families getting together and stuff. I don't know if you noticed this, Alison. This Harold guy, he was like, okay, I will give this movie some credit when it comes up to the build. Like, if you're watching it, you would think at first, like, what the fuck does that have to do with Thanksgiving? But they were actually doing like real life Thanksgiving stuff. Okay, so when we watched Blood Rage or when we watched Thanksgiving movie, okay, they did like people were dressed up in pilgrim outfits. The guy was talking about cranberry sauce everywhere. You know what I mean? Like they brought up like Thanksgiving words and like images. Okay?
Right.
But this movie was doing like Thanksgiving, like what people do. Okay?
Yes.
We have Harold like cooking all the food. All right. And just be like, I can't handle this. I need a Valium. If I can't have a Valium, give me a Budweiser, brother. I need some beer while I'm cooking.
Exactly.
All right? I got all these crazy people in the house wanting me to do shit. Just give me a Valium or a beer, and guess what? I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna dick you down later, girl. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they're talking about all that. All right, and the then during this too, we could see that Jay is also parked the car. Now he's cleaning the blood off the car, and he just like he has a PCP. Is it a PCP grin during the whole movie? I guess I don't know.
I guess so. Yeah,
Okay.
I guess so. If that's a thing.
So they realize that there's no wine around anywhere. All right. So this is when Linda and Gail, they go out and they borrow Scott's car. All right.
Yeah.
Scott's like the blonde dude who doesn't look like he was part of the family at all.
Right.
All right. And he brought around his woman at the time. Okay.
I mean, honestly, it's really hard for me to believe any of these people are related. But
Yeah.
anyway.
So there's a big scene where we see before they go get some wine. There's a big scene that we see that we have Harold and his girl Linda. They're fucking on the bed, or about to be fucking. We did get to see a little titty, all right. And then we see Scott, okay, and Jennifer, and they're kissing and making out in the car, all right. This is when we see Mistake first, cock blocks Scott. Scott gets all pissed, chases his ass off.
Right.
He chases them all around the house like this is some sort of like fucking Disney cartoon. All right?
Yeah.
Then they go and then they interrupt Harold. All right? In the place. And now Harold's all pissed off, and then everybody's pissed off at Mistake, calling him Mistake the whole time. And Mistake just wants to have fun and play his guitar. That he keeps playing the same riff, which the riff sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So now they all realize that there's no wine. So that's when Linda and her friend Gail, they go off. Okay. So they borrow Scott's car, all right, to go get some. Okay, so this is when we get some scenes of like, so they're going out to go get the wine. Okay. Wayne is like, he's telling everybody that he has a lot of money betted on this game and stuff. Okay. And then basically what happens is when the two girls go off to go get some wine, this is when Jay sees them leaving. Okay.
Yes.
And he realizes there's a house nearby. So Jay goes to the house, and the first thing he does is cut off the power. Okay. So when he cuts off the power, Harold's like, this happens all the time out here. You know, probably some drunk asshole ran into the power box. I was like, really? That happens in your fucking area? Some drunk asshole just runs into a power box?
Apparently so.
So this is when Wayne's like, well, fuck, bro. I got a lot of money betted on this game. And then Harold's like, well, you know, sometimes the power's been known to be out for like 3 hours. And this guy freaks out. I got to see my game, blah, 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 blah. All right. Then the whole time, his chick, Maria, all she does is like, talk Spanish and sing Spanish music. The whole thing. All right.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious when she was just like, there's a scene at the beginning where they're going through the house and everybody seems to be doing something random. Like Maria's just singing a song for no reason, and then her boyfriend is like just reading a magazine. Like they're not interacting with each other, but yeah. So
Harold now says, "Hey, I do got a generator. But the generator will just power on everything in the house. It won't get you your TV." So Wayne's all pissed.
Right.
So he goes to get some more gasoline for the generator.
Generator.
Of course, this is a 1980s horror movie, so his car stalls out.
Of course.
Harold is now fixing up his car. And this is when we get probably the funniest kill I have almost ever seen in a horror movie.
I lost my shit when this happened. I could not believe what I was seeing.
He died by a huge muscle man jumping on the fucking hood of his car. How is this possible?
It was so good.
Alison,
it was so good.
Explain to me how this is. How does this happen? What happened?
Basically, he's like looking in the hood of his car because his car stalled out, and then all of a sudden, Body by Jake just
Boom.
like this, and just lands on the hood of the
Lands
car
on
and
him.
it kills the guy. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that wouldn't kill you. It just pissed me off. But I don't
know, bro. That guy, what was he? 300
I couldn't
pounds?
believe what I was seeing. I
All
couldn't believe
muscle?
what I was seeing.
He's
I was
probably
like,
what?
Holy
He's
shit.
probably what? 330 all muscle?
Oh, he was 300 easy.
You know what I mean?
He was 300 pounds easy.
Jacked as shit, brother. He looked like one of the Road Warriors, like fucking cousins or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so now after Harold dies, because he was trying to basically take the battery out of the car and stuff, and he crushes them down there. So now PCP Jay goes and cuts the telephone line. Okay.
Yeah.
And Wayne is now concerned about Harold, and he wants to get out of the house. And he heard that there's a gas station nearby, and they might have electricity and stuff over there. So he wants to go over there basically to watch the game and maybe go look for Harold and stuff. He notices that the phone line is now dead as well too. All right, so now Wayne goes out to look for Harold. All right, and then this is when he's in his car, and then this is when Jay, he was hiding in the backseat of his car, kills him, gets him.
Yes, right.
All right, guts his ass. All right. So now we're back with Linda and Gail. All right, They have now lost, and they're about to be running out of gas.
Yeah, because they went to look for wine.
They
I
went
don't
to
know if
go
we
to-
mentioned that. They
yes.
went to buy wine.
Yeah, went to go buy. Yeah, we mentioned it. What kind of wine do you think they were buying there, Alison? Some Sauvignon?
Some kind of, maybe some kind of white wine, I'm sure.
All right. So they're trying to find their way back to the ranch. All right. And this is when they run into like some police officers. All right. And the police officers get their license and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. They don't bring up that there's a crazy maniac on the loose, but, there is. And then Linda and Gail leave, and they're talking about, man, I wish these fucking hot cops would have been all over us and stuff. You know what I mean? We're going to be fine. First of all, if you want to see a movie that is almost completely ad-libbed, this is this movie here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was no real script
What the
for this.
hell did this Thomas guy write? Did he write, we have PCP Jay jumping on things? Is that what he wrote?
Yeah, he wrote the.
Yeah.
This script was about 4 pages long. Like he wrote the major things that were going to happen, and everybody else was just like, just make up some lines.
So on their way back, it's at nighttime now. All right. So on their way back, they stop by the cops and stuff. They keep flirting, blah, blah, blah. They run into Jay. All right. First, they think Jay is Harold, but it's not. Okay. And then Jay, like, fucking lunges at him. Like a maniac. Rah, PCP, man. Lunges at him. He throws him on the fucking car, and then he throws Linda onto the rock, and boom, smashes her head. All right? And she's dead. All right? Well, sorry. She slams Gail's head on the rock. Okay? And then he stabs Linda to death with a broken bottle.
Yes.
All right?
That was pretty cool.
Pretty wild stuff. Okay? So after all this is happening, we do see a couple scenes of Mistake and Angel, you know what I mean, kind of bonding together a little bit. And we do see a lot of scenes of Scott and Jennifer bonding with Angel as well too. Okay, while everybody is away. So this is when basically like they, who's remaining left. Okay, we have Mistake. We have Scott, we have Jennifer, we have Angel, okay? And they're kind of wondering where everybody's at and stuff, all right? And, obviously we have Maria there too, okay? So we get a scene where they're about to be eating at the table, all right? Because they're not basically want to wait for anybody, all right? And they're basically like, while they're at the table and stuff, that's when Jay kind of comes to the house, okay? And basically what's going on is Mistake is trying to flirt with Maria because he has a hard-on for her. Okay? Like, even though she's dating Wayne and everything, he don't care. He's going to be flirting with her no matter what. So he's feeding her some, I guess it was cranberry sauce. All right? And he spills it on her. All right? So she freaks out a little bit, and then she goes to the washroom. And of course, Mistake is trying to get her a new shirt, trying to find her a good shirt and stuff. So we have this scene where you could see, Jay's in one room and then Maria's in the other room. Okay? Or Mistake's in one room and Maria's in the other room. And then we can see Jay walking up to grab Maria. And basically, Maria's taking off her shirt, cleaning up and everything. And this is when Jay grabs her and puts a knife to her. All right?
Yep.
And then he does that, and then Mistake walks in. He's like, whoa, what the fuck's going on over here? All right? So he's walking with her and stuff. He's like, if you say another word, I'm going to cut her ass and stuff. I guess he does say a line. He says that. He says, if you say another word, I'm going to stab her. I didn't think he said anything. Right. All right? So he brings her out there. They basically like walk out to the forest, and then Mistake is like, hey, I could play you a song and everything. Everything will be fine. So he's not helping her out at all.
Well,
okay.
No, what is he going to say, though? It's the only thing he can do, right?
Yeah.
I play a song. I can play the shitty riff that I play over and over again.
All right. So then after this, he brings her out there, like kind of like in the forest area. And Jay's like, and Mistake's like, you don't need to do this. You don't got to do this and stuff. And then basically, Jake takes the knife and is like, freaks out like PCP. Yes, I do. And he stabs her. He basically stabs Maria right into the chest. All right. Mistake freaks out and he runs away, and then Jay chases him. Okay. And they have this whole big long chase scene and stuff until Jay pins him up to the wall, and he grabs some jumper cables and he electrifies his ass against the wall. That must have been more so the budget came.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where all the money went. I thought that was fucking awesome too.
So apparently he shocked them with the, I guess he got power from the portable amplifier that was there.
Yeah, so he has an amplifier in his backpack.
Yeah.
So that was a really revolutionary thing at the time, like a battery-powered amplifier.
Yeah.
That he's carrying around in his backpack. That's where all the music is coming from that he's playing. But yeah, I guess he used those jumper cables to electrocute him with the amplifier, I guess.
So now Scott's wandering around, seeing where everybody's at, and this is when he discovers Maria's body while he was collecting some of the firewood. All right? So he goes back to the ranch and he tells Jennifer, like, hey, man, this fucking guy, Mistake, is crazy, man. He killed the Maria girl. So we got to lock up and get everybody. So Jennifer, they grab Angel and everything. So now this is when we have Jay manages to break inside the house. All right?
Yeah.
And, at first, like, Scott and everything, they're all thinking it's basically a Mistake doing all this stuff. They think he's the maniac and everything. Okay?
Which I think is weird that they think he's the one killing people, but okay, fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, what would you do? I mean, the last person to see Maria alive with was Mistake. You know what I mean? And
well,
it was supposed
yeah,
to be
I mean, I see what you're saying, but well, I guess so. But I mean, like, I've had weird people in my family, but I wouldn't immediately jump to like, oh, they probably murdered somebody.
Well, did you see a dead Latino outside your grass?
That's true. But I think that that's the point, though, that they were kind of trying to make, but didn't really make very well, is that he's supposed to be like this outcast, hard rock, heavy metal guy. And then that's why they think he might have killed people. But I just don't think it went over very well. But anyway.
So right now, most of the movie right now is all about this cat and mouse game. So they would hear noises and Scott would check on him and stuff. And we would have Jennifer, hang out with Angel, make sure she's okay. And Angel didn't do too much of this movie. She was just a little girl character. So the only scenes we really see her in was when she was introduced to us, when she was talking to Mistake of how much they love each other. And then there was one scene of her under the dinner table. Okay. Like supposedly looking dead, but of course she wasn't dead. Now it's all about protecting her during all this stuff. So eventually Jay breaks into the house. Okay. And now they realize, oh shit, it wasn't Mistake. It was this jacked up PCP dude. Okay.
Yes.
So now he's captured Scott and he starts strangling him. Okay. Until Jennifer comes and stabs him in the back with a knife.
Yes. Out of nowhere. That was awesome.
Fuck.
That was like, that's a classic final girl move, right? She just comes out of nowhere and stabs him.
But unlike the final girl, our boy is on PCP Magic, brother. Move over.
It doesn't matter.
Move over, fucking Jason. We don't need you. Freddie, Michael.
Nope.
All right, werewolves, we don't need you. We got PCP Jay over here, brother. A knife to the back with that muscular back glistening. It ain't gonna do nothing.
No, he just completely no sells that.
No
knife
sells
in the
it,
back.
brother. All right, walking around. All right, so he eventually recovers his stuff. Okay, they have a big skirmish downstairs where Scott and Jennifer were trying to leave. All right, but Jay pushes Scott through the mirror. Then he eventually, not the mirror, but the window, and then he cuts his throat. So there goes Scott. He's on out of here. Okay, and now we get this whole scene of Jay pursuing Jennifer throughout the house. Okay, and he's walking up slowly to the stairs and stuff. And this scene was really weird because I didn't really understand it too much. But basically, he was walking up the stairs at nighttime. All right. Jennifer was locked up in a closet. And then when Jay got kind of close to her, she passes out. And then we just see his foot. And then it just cuts to the daytime. So we don't know what happened at all.
Like I didn't really understand that either. So I'm guessing what happened, what's supposed to have happened, was she passes out in the closet, and then he decides he can't find her and leaves the room.
I guess. But then what does he do for the rest of the morning? Makes him
what
eggs
do
and
the
bacon?
rest of the night, because he's still there in the morning.
Well,
but
maybe
I guess he just stays in the house.
Maybe he had to eat something. You know, his bodybuilders, brother. He had to eat every certain hour.
He gotta eat. That's true. You got to eat every so often. He had to eat his 4,000 calories.
But with the knife in his back, he's like, "Oh, what is this thing?"
Right.
All right. So now it's the morning time. The cops are looking for those two chicks to make sure they got home last night. All right. So they're coming around the house, and they eventually figure out something. Like they eventually see the car and everything, and they find the girls. They find Gail's dead body there. So now they start going to the ranch and see what's going on. Okay. So now Jennifer is waking up. All right. And then she's immediately assaulted by Jay out of nowhere.
Right.
All right.
Out of nowhere. He's just stayed in the house all night.
Well, remember, he stayed in the house all night. He cooked himself some eggs and bacon and probably had a couple steak. You know what I mean?
Well, he probably just ate their turkey.
Yeah, maybe he just
that they
ate the
had.
turkey.
That's a lot of protein in that. He just ate it all.
So they're outside. He's just freaking out on PCP right now. Freaking out. The police officers show up. All right. They see they basically they got alerted by the situation by Angel, so she's okay. She got out of the house because they found a wandering girl wandering around the house.
Yeah, wandering around, 5 years old, was wandering around. Yeah.
So they pull up. They see Jay freaking out on PCP, knife in his back, blood all over his face and everything, about to kill this blonde girl. They come up to him with a shotgun. And they shoot this motherfucker 10 times.
Right. 10 times. I shot him 10 times.
So this guy's getting shot. Ba ba ba.
Yeah.
I do like the scene where the cops go and like rescue Jennifer. She's still freaking out because she's so traumatized. I thought that was really cool.
Right. That was cool. Yeah, that was awesome.
I like when they do
Very
that.
realistic.
So they're doing all that and stuff. They finally calm her down, get into the car and everything. All right. And then we do a 1980s horror movie theme that we will see for many horror movies in the 1980s. They go up to Jay's dead corpse body and he opens up his eyes.
Yeah. He just no sells the shotgun blast too.
No sells the shotgun. And no sells some knives, no sells some shotguns. You know, a man on PCP could do some fucked up shit, brother.
He can, and it's like Michael Myers. We're going to get a sequel, right? We're going to get Home Sweet Home 2, where we're going to see Body by Jake kill more people, or not really.
Well, what it is, so, Home Sweet Home 2 was Jake in, it was Jay in the Jay in the hospital, recovering from his wounds, saying that, and then we have a doctor who's trying to get him off the PCP, right? But then this doctor was like, you know what? Why don't I have Jay go on a bus to be transferred to a different doctor's office, but I'm going to plan the whole thing for this bus to stop, crash, and then I will give us a PCP and see if he goes terrorizes the same people in the same town of Los Angeles that he did.
Right, exactly.
So basically,
he's gonna get.
So basically, the plot to Home Sweet Home 2 will be the 2018 Halloween remake.
Right.
Yeah. Just in my own. That's what I would do if I made this movie. I would make it a direct copy of that movie, just to see if anybody would notice.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
So, but everybody, hope you all enjoyed this little treat. It's hard to find this movie, so if y'all have the DVD and stuff out there, but that's the gist of everything that went down on this film. Pretty fun stuff. This movie was not my favorite. I don't know if this would be in my normal rotation of Thanksgiving horror films, but I thought it was pretty good for what it was, for what the budget was.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. It was fun. I was entertained.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. That's all I need out of a movie, really.
So, but everybody, thanks for joining us here on the Retro Blood. Hope you all enjoyed this month. We did a pretty crazy month, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We did both Stepfathers.
Yeah.
All right. Mother's Day.
Mother's Day was great.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And of course,
also good.
Home Sweet Home. So pretty interesting month. Maybe we'll have to rejoin this month again for like a family month and stuff. There's some other movies that are killer families out there that we could probably swing by too.
That's true.
Well, which one did you like the best, Alison, out of this whole month before we get going?
Mother's Day. I like Mother's Day the best.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Followed closely by Stepfather 1.
Yeah, I'll probably take Stepfather 1, Mother's Day, Stepfather 2, Home Sweet Home, and then maybe Texas Chain. I don't know.
Yeah, it's sad that we think Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the worst movie of the month, but it was this time. But
it just wasn't our
definitely
style.
Yeah, I would definitely watch Home Sweet Home again before I'd watch Chainsaw 2 again.
So, but everybody, before we get on out here, so next month, the Christmas month, 2025,
something different.
We're gonna do something way different than we do normally, because we have basically done every in the 1980s. We have done every holiday horror movie there is. Okay,
that we can think of. Yeah.
So, what I'm thinking is, what we're thinking is, let's do some big blockbuster movies out of the 1980s to be a little different, and we do have one Christmas movie technically in there, if you count it as a Christmas movie. Okay,
it is. It's definitely a Christmas movie.
We're basically doing 1980s big blockbuster month. Okay, and we'll give you the full schedule next week, but we are going to be starting off with the I believe it was 1985, right? Batman.
No, 1989.
1989 Batman, sorry. The 1989 Batman movie. All right?
I love this movie. It's a classic.
Classic, brother. Michael Keaton. We got a fucking what's the fucking dude who played the Joker? What's his name? Jack Nicholson, the sportsman himself on there. Yep. So it's gonna be a good one, brother. And then I said we'll give you the whole list next week. We're going over some fine details of it and stuff, but it should be pretty fun. We're gonna talk about some big blockbuster movies during this time and stuff. Should be pretty cool. But Alison, I guess since we talked about it, what Kiss song do you want to play to get us on out of here?
Oh man, do you want to play something from 1981 from Kiss?
Yeah. 1981 from Kiss.
1981 from Kiss. That would be music from this. This is going to be fantastic. So it's going to be something from Music from the Elder.
Yeah.
I think that we should play I. It's just the letter I. Brother. All right, some Kiss I. This is out here for Mistake, who supposedly made a bunch of mistakes. All right. First mistake was cock blocking everybody. That'll get you killed in a horror film. The second mistake was carrying around a guitar with a portable amp that can get you electrocuted by a madman and PCP power. All right. Yep.
And your last,
watch out for that shit.
And your last mistake was not getting any poontang for the holiday season.
Yep.
But everybody, hope you all enjoyed it.
No bueno.
No bueno, brother. Hope you all enjoyed it. J.H. Alison, James Kline. We'll see you all here next week for Batman.
It's going to be so good.
The Batman.
The Batman.